17. Want to come towards the end of the show in the way that we started. It's still the main news, talking football. Bayern Munich and Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a deal in principle for the England captain Harry Kane. Now, it's thought to be worth more than £85 million. And basically, it's up to Harry Kane now whether he decides to go or to stay. The former Spurs defender, Ramon Vega, says Kane may be tempted by the chance to compete for the biggest trophies.
What he has to consider himself, with 30 years old, with a family, is English. Of course, he lost England and London because that's where he's coming from, But at the same time, from a sporting point of view, he needs to achieve also some trophies.
Well, joining me now is Spurs fan and also host of the Spurs Chat podcast, Chris Cowlin. Chris, what are you thinking? Is it going to be Spurs or is it going to be Munich?
Well, good evening to you. I'll tell you what, I just find the whole situation at the moment a bit of a shambles and embarrassing for all parties because, of course, as a Spurs fan, we all now know that Harry Kane wants to leave the football club. We all know that the football club want to sell Harry Kane, which is not showing much ambition from the board, in my opinion. And Bayern Munich have been very confident about getting Harry Kane this summer. The latest reports in Germany, literally in the last couple of minutes, are now stating that another club is in for Harry Kane and they want to offer him a better deal next summer if he leaves on a free transfer. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. But Bayern Munich have always been very confident of getting their player. But as a Spurs fan, I know this is all about Harry Kane. It's all about Harry Kane news at the moment. But as a Spurs fan, I worry about the ambition from the board, our football club, and I worry about what's going to happen next, because in this transfer window under a new manager, we should be showing real ambition in the transfer window. We should be doing everything we can to keep a player like Harry Kane, but it's the money that they want. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It just seems like there's developments hour by hour at the moment.
Can I come in on just like two elements, really, if it's all right, Chris? Firstly, I appreciate, you talk extensively about a lot of the confusion. What's your take on the fact that, many will say when you look at any football club, and that includes Spurs as well, it's the fans that make it rather than the players. Change is inevitable. You surely can't expect every single player just to stay in one club forever. I mean, Harry Kane's affiliation, of course, with Tottenham Hotspur, it's been for over a decade now. So was it not inevitable that this time was going to come?
Yes, but not 3 days before a season starts. That is really, really bad planning.
Okay.
And the fans have not been, they're not being communicated from the football club. If the football club are going to sell our leading goal scorer of all time, then I think that the football club need to address the fans and say, look, we're thinking about selling, and do it a different way. I think that, yes, you're absolutely right. The day is always going to come when Harry Kane eventually leaves the football club or retires. He's been a great servant to the football club. Sadly, he hasn't been successful and won a trophy at Tottenham.
Yeah.
But I just think it's such bad timing. 3 days before the season starts, he's gone to pre-season in Australia, Thailand, Singapore with Ange Postecoglou. Postecoglou's trying to build a team and a squad to go forward, and this is not the ideal situation for a new manager to go into. I just think it's really, really poor timing. And as I keep saying, the ambition of the football club needs to be very different to what it is. We didn't get any European football for this season. You take Harry Kane out of our team, out of our squad. Now, he scored 30 goals in 38 Premier League games last season in a struggling side. You take away Harry Kane, Spurs could be a mid-table team.
That's going to be some harsh reality for a lot of fans, as you say, that, there is so much that Harry Kane has brought, not just to the club, but just kind of, if you can, for those people tuning into Radio London who maybe aren't as well affiliated with football like you and I, how much does Harry Kane really mean to the fans? He's really loved, isn't he?
Absolutely. He's probably the best player that's ever played for Tottenham Hotspur. He's certainly up there with the likes of Jimmy Greaves and Glenn Hoddle and, real fans' favourites in our club history. He's the leading goal scorer for Tottenham Hotspur and for England. That you're always going to get the very best from Harry Kane. You can always,
he gives his heart, doesn't he?
Absolutely. The fans absolutely adore him. He plays that killer pass to assist.
Yes.
He can score from all angles, left foot, right foot, head, outside the area, inside the box. He can do absolutely everything. And he will be very, very missed if he leaves Tottenham Hotspur. Personally, I'm hoping, that he does stay for at least one more season to try and get Spurs back into the Champions League. But it does sound now from the latest reports in Germany that if he doesn't leave this summer, then it will certainly be for another club next summer.
If he weren't to leave, though, just to pick up on that point, actually, Chris, how do you think he'd be received?
If he didn't leave, it's going to be so interesting because, as I said, it's changing hour by hour at the moment, and the fans absolutely adore him, as we've spoken about, and people would love him to stay. I think a lot of Spurs fans understand his frustration, understand his reasons for wanting to leave, because a lot of the fans understand it themselves. We've gone through some painful times in recent seasons, and ever since we lost the Champions League final in 2019, we've gone round in circles. Some people say that we've gone backwards. They're probably right.
It's not been the same, has it?
It hasn't. And every time that we've made a signing, there's been of lesser quality. And I think that in this transfer window, the Spurs board had to show real ambition to show the likes of Harry Kane that we mean business and we want to, achieve things at the football club. Although we've had additions in the transfer window so far, I don't believe that the additions that we've got in so far are going to take us, to that next level by getting us Champions League football. I think there's so much more to do. But I think a lot of fans understand Harry Kane's frustration. He wants to win trophies. He's 30 years old. He's got every single individual record. The Premier League one he's still gunning for. But other than that, he's got every individual record. He wants to win trophies, and rightly so.
And just on that point as well, if we focus on just the history that he has had and the history that's been made with Harry Kane at Tottenham Hotspur, I was speaking to our sports editor, Phil Parry, earlier on, and he said, statue is guaranteed. It's going to happen.
It has to happen, but it might take some time. It certainly would take time if he left now. But I do understand that the football club want to receive money for him and sell him in this window and not let him walk away on a free transfer. But as I said earlier, 3 days before the season starts, it doesn't exactly put optimism and confidence going forward, with Spurs fans. You cannot sell your best player 3 days before a season starts. Sounds
like it's going to be a difficult evening for Spurs fans tonight. Thank you for joining me and breaking down and unravelling some of this as well, Chris. Pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
That was Chris Cowlin there, who, of course, as you can hear, he is an adamant Spurs fan. He's also the host of the Spurs Chat podcast as well. Chris Cowlin there. By the way, I'm going to be catching up with the sports team in around about 20 minutes' time. They're coming up straight after me from 6 p.m. here on Radio London, and I guarantee you they will be talking about Harry Kane as well.